Welcome.
It's Jules, Jack, and Jay on the guitar. It's another day in the car, another night in the RV. We'll be listening to Jay play the guitar as we wait for people to come on in. And what we're bringing to you tonight is, of course, we'll have some discussion back and forth with you during the live. Plus, we will discuss the d4vd case. As you know, I've been going over things that are, I don't know, being reported on other channels and whatnot, chasing down leads, theories, etc. And love to see your theories in the comments. We'll also discuss the Memorial Day weekend unaliving of 2 teens camping in the Tonto National Forest and who was arrested for it and how they caught him. And after that, we will talk about a case where someone, a teenager, actually live streamed after 2 teen girls were viciously plowed down when they were riding their e-bikes, and he was calm as he was discussing this. And this happened to be a girl. One of the 2 girls happened to be a girl that he had been stalking for some time, and we'll get into what's going on in that case.
Welcome, Karen Lee.
Which will have a link to a controversy over Ava Rain, The Rock's daughter, WWE wrestler, and what she posted a few weeks ago after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which is related, believe it or not, to the case of the stalker teen.
Alrighty. That's enough intro music.
Oh, but it's beautiful.
You said that when it was literally the end.
Yes, it is the end. And please come back and play more later. Like, check in with us, check on us, and see if your parents are still alive. Anyhow.
That's our live music entertainment for the evening.
Yep. That's our son, Jay. He's the 3rd member of the Another Day in the Car crew.
Evening, morning, afternoon.
That's Jack, Jules, and Jay.
He had chosen a different guitar for tonight's show, and which has a lot more audio.
He actually has a few.
Than the one he was playing last night.
But those were both acoustic guitars, and he does have an electric guitar, but we haven't yet figured out if we're going to be able to get him to play that and not blow out the stream.
You can go ahead and start off again what we were going to talk about.
Okay, so tonight what we're talking
From
about...
the beginning.
What we're talking about tonight is we will discuss a few things in the d4vd case of the body of a 14-year-old girl, Celeste Rivera, being found in the trunk of his Tesla, and he is a famous musician. And just a few observations in that case will be coming up. Then we'll discuss the case of 2 teens who had been camping Memorial Day weekend in the Tonto National Forest, and when they didn't return, it was discovered that they were both unalived, and just recently someone has been arrested for that, and we will discuss how this person was linked to this and how this case is going to continue to unfold. And after that, we will discuss the stalker teen, Vincent Bataloro, who live streamed about the deaths of 2 girls near him who had been run over by an SUV. And he discussed it a lot because one of the 2 girls was someone that he had mentioned in his stream a lot of times, and he appears to have been stalking her. And then that case is related to the case where Ava Raine, the WWE wrestler and daughter of The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, well, she made a comment or retweeted the comment after Charlie Kirk's assassination.
We'll get into that later.
And that is related to the stalker teen case. So, let's get into the beginning. And I guess for the beginning, we will talk about David and Celeste. Some other people have also observed that David's Tesla, when it got towed, it was covered in dust and such and dirt. And some people say it looked like it had been in the desert. So that led me to think, had they been out like playing in the desert at night and something happened to Celeste and someone panicked and put her into the trunk, how did the large dent end up on the Tesla? How old
that's a good question.
is that large dent
Is
at the
there
rear
any
of the
sign
Tesla?
of rust around the dent?
And also the damage in the wheel wells of the Tesla. That was also very, something that was mentioned a lot, but that I had overlooked. And then just seeing that other people, ow. Okay, let me get closer to you.
Yes, cover cold in here.
Yes.
I got extra cough drops. So if you were here
I'm
last
coughing
night,
into my platypus to try not to blow out the speaker. Anyway.
she was coughing last night too, so we may or may not go live tomorrow if she keeps coughing.
And anyway, so we used to call it boonie hopping, but basically it's not with a 4-wheel drive or anything. It's just taking your car out into public thrashed areas that are kind of like high desert and stuff down there in the Los Angeles area. And also, I believe, and I might have to go through my crime library. It's not something I aired, but there was a model who was unalived a long time ago because she was doing a photo shoot with a freelance photographer guy who also did shoots for Car and Driver magazine and stuff like that. And she thought that that's what she was doing with him out there in the desert. And he didn't bring any water. He just brought alcohol. And he did some horrific things to her before she ended up deceased.
No water.
But it was out there in the desert, and cars were involved and all that stuff. So anyway, it looks like maybe that Tesla has been rather abused and maybe off in the dirt. So then that made me wonder if there was some kind of party out in the desert, whether maybe Celeste got hit by the car or something, or maybe there was some other kind of accidental thing and she got put in the trunk, and then the Tesla got taken back to town while people were trying to figure out what to do. And whoever it was that put her in the trunk and brought her back, maybe they panicked, or did they have a purpose? That's 2 other things then. Because if it wasn't David, if it was someone else, would someone else have just been panicking because of what happened to Celeste? Or would someone have been trying to maybe get rid of Celeste due to the notoriety Celeste being only 14 years old and being the wifey of David, who was 20. And lots of people are saying that Celeste was misrepresenting her age and her school status. A lot of people that are close friends to David who got introduced to Celeste say that they were under the impression that Celeste was 19 years old and was attending a university nearby, and that's how she and David knew each other. So then the next question is, how long has David known that his girlfriend was extremely underage?
Extremely.
Did he always know, or did he recently find out? And how would he feel about that? You know, because now I'm thinking, because all along I've been thinking of him as a predator. And now I'm wondering, what if he really was stupid enough to think that this girl was 18 or older and was interested in him and, was that infatuated with him and was of age? What would happen if he thought he was in love with her and then he found out that she was very illegal and that he was going to be facing charges if he was caught having a relationship with this girl? So that's another thing to go to possible motive. And that leads me also to try to be looking at the timeline and figure out when the toxicology should be back. And by my calculation,
Hey, Rainbow.
it should be back in 2 to 4 weeks from now, because in advanced cases of decomposition, it usually takes like 6 to 8 weeks to get a tox screen back. So we'll be getting those answers pretty soon. And then I started wondering about what reasons are there that police are not saying that David is in the clear. Because they're not saying that he's a suspect, they're not saying he's a person of interest, but they have also not said, we have cleared David in this case, or, even said that they either have or don't have any suspects. All they'll say is that this is an ongoing investigation. So I think a couple reasons to not say that David is in the clear is, one, if David really isn't in the clear, and two, if they have someone else in their sights that they think maybe was trying to make it look like David was responsible, and they want that person to slip up so they can have more on that person. There's a couple of different reasons why they might do that. And I'll love to see any comments as to what you think might be the reason why police are being so tight-lipped and not even saying that people are cleared or not cleared, given that there is so much notoriety to this case and so many people know, and there's so many rumors and accusations flying around. If they thought that David was innocent, why wouldn't they come forward and say that he is? And then there's the question of who would benefit from framing David, and that would help figure out whether or not that's even really a possibility, or if that's just kind of a far-fetched idea in this case.
How many enemies did he have?
That's a good question. And then another thing that stood out is that the owner of that home, the current owner of that home that David had been leasing, I'm gonna come snuggle you more.
Okay.
I'm stealing some of his body warmth because I feel really cold. So anyway, what I wrote down here is 96-hour warrant. So that reminds me that the police with the first warrant
read the comments.
can have up to 96 hours, and so they ostensibly are finished with collecting evidence and everything at that home. And the homeowner, David had the moving trucks there and his crew coming and getting all of his stuff. And so now in this past weekend, the owner of that house has started having things thrown away. He's hired people to clear out that house and get it ready to go on the market.
Are they going to sell it now?
Yeah. And then
I wonder who will own it this time.
And then I was going to, because at one point it was owned by Halle Berry, but which is pretty cool. Anyway, so back to Celeste's age and whether people are really in the clear regarding, hanging around and knowing that she was having a relationship with David. Are they really in the clear? Was it really believable that she wasn't really a girl in 7th grade? Because she was appearing at all these age-restricted events, and where was she getting ID, or why wasn't she getting ID to get in? She's going to all these age-restricted events, so of course people are going to assume that if you're in there, you must be of age to be in there.
Depends on what clubs that they were going to. 18, 21, 16.
That's a good question too, but apparently they all thought she was around 19.
Some of the concerts I used to take my children to were 16 and over.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
And then there's the comments from the medical examiner's report that people keep mentioning, which is Celeste was not pregnant at the time of her death, and there was no pregnancy in the last year. And my hubby got my brain twisting, because at first I was just kind of glazing right over that, just going, oh, okay, yeah, she's not pregnant, she wasn't pregnant in the last year. And then he's going, why the clarification of in the last year? Does that mean she's ever been pregnant before that? So
she is a child.
Yeah, and she is a child, and she is a child who was in a sexual relationship with an adult male, and I don't know whether she was in a sexual relationship with the boyfriend who has come forward. Her boyfriend before David is now 15 years old, and he said he was a year ahead of her in school.
He's a child as well.
Yeah, he's a child as well.
No disrespect.
He also said that
he's just young.
Celeste did not like being at home and wanted to run away and wanted to have a different life and all this stuff. So I wonder if there's, if it's just an innocent thing about no pregnancy in the last year, or if that is actually telling us something.
Can they tell though? Really?
Yeah, they probably would be able to tell if she had carried a child or anything like that. So, why no pregnancy in the last year?
Well, she obviously hadn't carried a child because somebody would have said something by now. If she
you would think.
Yeah, you would think.
Oh.
Although there's that other girl, a cheerleader who carried a child the other day. Apparently nobody knew about that.
Oh, yeah. The Lakin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lakin people, her roommates, the people that lived with her in the house, they said that they suspected that she might be pregnant because of, some sketchy things that she did or how she acted or when she used to get sick and stuff. But they had no clue that she carried a pregnancy to full term and then gave birth, and then the baby ended up deceased, and she wrapped it up like a burrito and then put it in plastic and then put it in a closet in her room for her roommates to find.
Girls, please.
We'll be following her case, by the way. Anyway, then we get to the camping trip. It was Memorial Day weekend, and two friends, they're good friends, and I don't know if they were actually a couple or just friends, but it was two teenagers named Pandora Gelsrud and I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, I've written it down in another place where I didn't actually spell it the way it's spelled, and wrote it the way people pronounced it. So if I get across that, I will repeat it. But her first name's Pandora, and she's 18 years old, and the other teenager was 17-year-old Evan Clark. And the two of them were going camping and hiking for Memorial Day weekend. Then
In Tonto.
in Tonto National Forest, and they had been in contact with their families and had sent photos showing, the camping trip, the sites, and all that kind of stuff, and photos of their campsite, documenting the campsite and all that. But then they did not come home after Memorial Day weekend, and so the parents were immediately suspicious because they weren't able to get a hold of them either. So they put in it's a well-being check, but it actually has specific thing. They called in on May 26th and reported overdue hikers at Mount Ord. And so when police arrived at this destination to look for these overdue hikers,
Okay.
he's coming useful. My little Perry the Platypus.
Mm-hmm. Perry.
Perry. I got a cough drop right here.
You got one ready
Okay,
to go?
yeah.
Alrighty.
I was holding it, letting it get sticky in my hand while I was waiting to see if I was going to need it.
No, you're gonna need it.
Anyway,
I have a cough drop around today.
so then the law enforcement arrived to the area, knew that the kids had been going to be hiking on Mount Ord and camping nearby, and that the parents also gave them photos of the campsite and everything. So law enforcement gets there, and the first thing they see is the SUV that Evan was driving. Evan had driven Pandora up there. And they saw Evan's SUV, and just the way it was located, and it just drew attention. It's suspicious right away. And then they walk up to it, and they see that there is blood on the rear bumper.
It's parked in the trees, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there's a bloody pillowcase inside that's visible, and there's no sign of the kids there, but there was a hiking trail, and from the photos that they were given by the parents, they knew that the kids had been hiking and camping in the area, and they knew the general area by looking at the photos. So then they go to the camp, and they're seeing a few of the kids' items scattered along this path between where the vehicle was parked and the campsite. And the campsite's a little bit of shambles, and they see drag marks in the campsite, and they follow these bloody drag marks, and then they find the two teens deceased and actually pulled off and hidden in the underbrush, and they have both been multiple pew wounds. Yeah, thank you. And it was going to be a very difficult case due to the fact that this is in a very, very rural place, remote. There's not going to be like ring cams, door cams, anything like that. There's going to be no city bus as CCTV, no technology to help them in this. They were going to have to go old school. So they collected all the evidence and ran everything they found for DNA and fingerprints and everything, just to see if anything came up. And while they're doing all that, they also were requesting information, requesting people to call in and let them know anything they knew. Other campers then got in touch with them and told them the name Thomas Brown, because he had been super sketchy acting. He was camping out there. He stood out to them. His vehicle stood out to them, and they got the license plate. They gave the license plate to the cops too, and it was his vehicle. Where'd it go? I wrote down what color.
Mercedes?
No, the Mercedes belonged to the teens. It was a Kia, and it was blue. There we go. It was a Kia Rio, and it was blue, and a couple different groups of campers and independent campers had written down that plate number because they had encountered Thomas, and he had just kind of weirded them out, creeped them out. So they made note of it, and then when this killing happened and was reported, they were like, "Oh, we should mention that guy." So everybody that had signed in on the hiking roster, and people that had just signed in other places, or just had camped and decided to volunteer the information that they'd been out there, all contacted law enforcement and let them know their own movements, where they were, on which days, and what they saw. And commonality was that this one creepy guy stood out to everybody. And so the cops went and decided to talk to the creepy guy, since also I guess he had posted in his social media and stuff that he and his wife had been camping Memorial Day weekend out there in the Tonto National Forest. So when the cops did speak to him, Brown said that he and his wife had been camping out there, and then and that they had seen the kids but never touched them or their stuff while they were there. And then he said that his wife left on the 25th, and so he drove up Mount Ord so he could fly his drone. And then when he was done, he says he left. But cops, because he was showed up so many times in the investigation, decided to ask him for a DNA sample. And after they ran his DNA, when it came back as positive hits to the interior of the vehicle, even though he said he'd never touched the vehicle or anything. And also, the real biggie, in my opinion, was there was a pair of gloves found in the scene. I'm not sure if it was at the vehicle, or if it was at the campsite, or where the kids ended up being dragged. But it was a pair of gloves. The outside of the gloves was covered in blood. The blood contained, the blood belonged to both kids. Inside the gloves, turn them out inside out, and sweat and whatnot, DNA belongs to Brown. So he's been arrested. He's not talking. He's not saying anything about motive or anything. I guess he's pleading not guilty. For his first appearance, he showed up with an attorney, and they were talking about whether he was going to get a public defender or not, and that he's going to have another hearing, a status hearing, on October 8th, and then the case is going to be sent to a grand jury to decide whether or not he's going to be indicted for murder. And let's see.
He was instructed to bring a lawyer next time, though.
Yeah, and he was told that for October 8th, he definitely needed to have an attorney with him. His bond was set at $2 million, $1 million for each kid.
Wow.
And turns out he is a military veteran, and he has been a resident of the Phoenix area for 5 years. He's been ordered not to hold or possess any weapons. And then a question that came in my mind is I didn't notice the gun that was used being mentioned. Was it found? Did he have it? Has it been ditched? What happened to the gun that was used?
The pew pew?
Yeah, what was you? Where did the pew pew go? And
I hope YouTube don't catch us on that.
and so I'll be following that case.
What's our next one?
Now we're going to discuss the stalker teen,
Oh.
and then it's going to loop into Ava Rain.
Yeah, I'm very curious how that's going to be.
But we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. Sometimes I talk too slow. Anyway, the stalker teen is Vincent Badaloro. He's 17 years old, and he has 40,000 subscribers. And he plays video games and talks. He live streams
video games.
Yeah, I didn't know what kind he played. I just knew that he plays.
40,000 for that kind?
Yeah, he's got 40,000 subscribers. And I swear, watching some of his recent live streams, he totally reminds me of Michael Douglas in that movie Falling Down. I don't know if you've seen it, but basically Michael Douglas has this breakdown and gets more and more crazy as it goes on. And gets weapon. Anyway, that's Stalker Teen remind me of that. And he was nonchalantly talking in the live stream about two girls being killed in a hit and run in a nearby town and stuff. And then if you go and look at previous videos of his, you find out that one of those two girls is Maria Nestis, and he has been having a feud with Maria for some time, and makes threats about her on his YouTube and such, and says that she's being evil to him, that she's bullying him. He says that she has falsely accused him of, some things got blurred out when he said it. And yeah, Miss Vincent Badaloro. And he says that Maria accused him of sending her porn. And it was 5 days after he did this rant video where he said that she was what do you say, bullying him, and that he says that she's bullying him and talking about him being a creeper and sending her stuff, and then we find out that also, in his live streams, he actually talks about how he has a vengeance. Don't bother the kitty.
Kitty's gonna mess up the table.
I hope not.
Come on, kitty. Get down from there.
He says that he has a vengeance for Maria, and at one point he on camera goes and opens up a second phone, says that he's turning his original phone into a burner phone, and he decides to order pizza and have it sent to Maria's house, but to say that that they will pay at the door with cash. And he's just seeming like a snot and a pain in the butt towards Maria. And just the way, after this horrible accident, I mean, he's making threats about her and being a real snot about her. And then after her untimely death, then he's just talking nonchalant about, oh, this happened. And then he's talking about what he's going to do in future streams and stuff. And it's like he has no clue that he's going to go away. Anyway, he's 17. Both girls were 17. And what actually happened was the two girls, it was around 5:30 p.m. and they were riding e-bikes, and it was a neighborhood, so it actually had a slower speed limit. But this guy, who also had been in the neighborhood the whole time and was in his Jeep and was actually live streaming in his Jeep about stuff and back and forth, just kind of like, I guess he was laying in wait.
At the scene is a pretty tragic picture too.
Yeah.
All the papers and everything just scattered all on the paper.
Yeah. The impact must have been horrific because law enforcement says that his black Jeep Compass was going 70 miles per hour in this residential zone when he purposely plowed into the two girls and then left the scene.
I had to leave significant damage on that car.
Yes. And then, by a weird coincidence or whatever, the police chief that is, in charge of this investigation has made a statement that he is not immediate family to the unhinged individual who took out the girls. And anyway, he's Chief Christopher Battelaro, same last name as the suspect who's been arrested. And it turns out that one of the big things, it was obvious that Vincent had already been stalking Maria for whatever reason, and the two of them already had beef for whatever reason. He keeps saying that more will come out, that she bullied him, but it was obvious that he was bullying her and stalking her as well. There was a whole lot of back and forth going on.
No.
But one thing is, he got extremely mad at Maria because of Maria's reactions after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He thought Maria was being too blasé about it, not reverent enough about the death of Charlie Kirk, and even got pissed off that Maria had shared a screenshot or something of a post by WWE wrestler Ava Raine, who happens to be the daughter of The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And she, at the time of Charlie Kirk's passing, and people have blown it up out of proportion too, what she said. Now, let me cough into Perry for a second.
We will have the exact quote.
And I will take a drink.
You have to get the light off of there first.
Yes, that's why I said I will take a drink so that you'll take the light off of my drink.
You ever get a glass of water and set a little light on top of it? Creates a nice little ambient glow. Yeah, that's what we're doing for studio light.
Glass of tea, room temperature. Kind of helps. Anyway, cough drop. Oh no.
So we're gonna have to
hopefully
start
that
canceling the lives if you can't stop coughing.
Oh, I hope not. Anyway, the direct quote was not even her own quote. I'll get to her own quote in a moment. What she did was she reposted a comment by Gianna Marco Ceresi, I guess. But, it just is like a quote to live by. And it says, and this is the exact quote, if you want people to have kind words when you pass, you should say kind words when you're alive. End of quote. And people are blowing up about that.
Yeah, they are not happy about what she said. Man.
And then Ava Raine's own quote was she reposted that post and said, "Be kind now more than ever."
So
all it is she's telling people to be kind. And basically, it turns out that quote that I read you, it's also very similar apparently to a Bible quote. I think it's one of the Psalms or something. And I'm not going to go quote that because I don't even have the Bible with me or anything like that. But a lot of people were pointing that out, and some people were saying that it also is similar to do unto others, or any of those other things. Just saying, be a good person, and if you want to be remembered as a good person, be a good person. Be kind. So anyway, that's how that is related to this teenage stalker who took the lives of 2 young people. And at this point, we don't know yet whether this is going to be done in juvenile court, or if they're going to go ahead and try him as an adult. Took place in New Jersey, and he is 17 years old, and it could go either way. He could be tried as a teenager, or he could be tried as an adult. He actually spooks me, guys. His demeanor and his justifications of himself and just his whole vibe is alarming. And
is he in jail right now?
And I am unsure whether he's even in jail. I think he's at home because he's 17 and he's probably on house arrest.
The police chief made that statement. It says, due to social media,
yeah,
it is.
The police chief said, due to social media and web, and internet sleuths and stuff, I feel the need to make the announcement that Vincent Babaloro is not an immediate family member.
Yeah, he didn't want the internet sleuth involved again.
But it's also interesting that he says not an immediate family member. It's like, is he a family member though? He's not an immediate family member. He's not one of your kids. He said he's not my son. He straight up says he's not my son. But I'm like, is he your nephew?
Yeah, definitely. So, he didn't want that brought to light though, did he?
No. Anyway.
That's
how that all rolls.
Any request for a true crime story?
And we'll check out the comments and stuff now, because I basically had a shorter show planned out for today because I have been feeling not so great.
The comments read something about the elk hunters here in Colorado.
Yeah, the guys that got electrocuted
from
the lightning.
Yep.
And apparently coming from where they came from,
North Carolina,
their mountains are nowhere near as high as ours, so they probably didn't realize how likely you are to be hit by lightning if you're at the 9,000 or higher elevation here.
They didn't know what happened to those guys for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but it's the medical examiner's office. Oh no.
That'll about do it for us for the night.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go early tonight because I'm coughing on you guys. Let's see, found out that the cabin.
Don't need more information than that.
Whoa, we should go backward and look at that. Oh, Michael Wilbur. Oh no. Who broke into? We had to roll backwards. Something happened.
We'll wait for Michael Wilbur.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I have a stalker. I had to go to court to get a restraining. Dude, we get so many stalkers on this channel, dude.
Yeah. So many that for us it doesn't even make sense to get restraining orders anymore.
Not against all of them, that's for sure. Yeah, that coughing thing. I think it's got to be leaf mold, probably. So anyways, we were thinking about doing a creepy pasta story every now and then on here. If you guys are interested in that, in our transition period from one studio to the other.
That's another reason why it doesn't make sense for us to get restraining orders over everybody anymore either, because although maybe it would work to say that our residents and just not, yeah, it's just annoying.
Creepy and pasta. Yeah, we were gonna look into that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look at those and
if my wife wasn't
share some of those
coughing
again.
so
Yeah.
much tonight.
Yeah, I'm coughing too much tonight to do it, but I will. So,
violence erupted at a car show in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
whoa, over the weekend.
Spilled over to Dolly Parton territory yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Dolly Parton has. I thought she had a bunch of stuff in Branson.
Yeah, she does have something. You know, the Jamboree or something in Branson.
Yeah. A story about Dolly Parton. Oh, do tell. We haven't talked about Dolly Parton on this channel. I put my coffee in a stemware glass, maybe. I drink coffee, don't we?
Put my glasses on too to look at the.
That's why I have to be all the way up on the screen like this. Did Dolly Parton. Dude, I just saw her do a commercial on YouTube earlier today. She's a busy girl. No, that was Reba. That's what I'm thinking about. It wasn't Dolly Parton.
No, but Dolly Parton does that good thing with giving free books to kids that sign up through their public library. Dolly Parton sends free books to the kids on a regular basis, which is a beautiful thing.
Gatlinburg. Seven Up and Sprite. That would be nice. We have. I don't have any 7-Up. That would be pretty good, huh?
Maybe we'll go get some 7-Up tomorrow.
We have this stuff.
We have this lemon fizzy water.
Fuzzy. So if you could hit that subscribe button, we have a 10,000 goal. 10,000 sub goal.
My sweetie gave me some chicken soup earlier. It was chicken soup and wild rice. Chicken and wild rice soup.
From where?
From Panera.
That's where Guillermo. Is that his name?
So I guess
It's like,
yeah. You guys ever watch what is their show called? I don't know. What We Do in the Dark?
it's a vampire show.
Vampire
It's
show.
kinda silly.
A silly vampire show. It's got Guillermo is the helper, the familiar of the vampires, and there's Nandor, and
What We Do in the Shadows or something.
Yeah.
Come on, help us out,
Something
guys.
like that.
I know you watch it.
somebody must watch it.
What We Do in the Shadows, maybe. Elvira.
Yeah, I did pick up some zinc supplements as well.
Doesn't do much for mold.
Well, I think I have a combination of allergies and a cold, actually. Let's see. Like
Dextromethyl something. Deslin. Robitussin.
how about anybody got some like what is a good word to make? Some non-pharmaceutical but good old-fashioned home remedies like
Chicken noodle soup.
like tea and chicken noodle
Mhm.
soup and
That worked out for a while.
stuff like that. Because I'm trying, after having gone through all my medical stuff, I'm trying to do like a total detox and only put natural stuff in my bod as far as medicating myself. And
Watch. Bum, 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 bum. There we are.
just really want to totally get myself back to baseline before I
Look at me.
start working on anything else. You took your bandana off.
Dude. People called me out last night, said it was for the wig.
Oh.
Remember?
He's
I
not.
said-
He's not wearing a wig.
No, stud.
This
But
is
you
the
know,
same.
it's
We
not
came.
a
We
wig.
came from the '80s, and
Can we go back? No internet,
sometimes I wish.
no cell phones.
Although I really like YouTube, and,
Yeah,
and doing it
YouTube's
on a cell
very
phone.
awesome. You drank that whole jar of water tea stuff.
Yeah. I just need help some.
We're doing a true crime request if you want to put something in the comment section. Any story. Do not do one about children.
Yeah, I keep finding too many about kids, and
Those just get demonetized and flagged by YouTube. So no, don't do that.
but also anything Pacific Northwest or whatever, because we're thinking about doing a road trip soon and documenting it and maybe incorporating some
They
of the
have
locations.
vampires in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, I want to go see there. I want to go see the place from the Twilight movies.
I forget the name of that.
Forks or
Yeah, Forks. Yep.
Yeah, I want to go see that.
They have a sign up there that says vampire threats very high.
And,
Not quite the true crime channel you guys are expecting.
and go
was
see
it?
the Pacific Ocean again, and I like it in the winter because I'm not big on getting in the sun. So it's nice to see the ocean and when it's like in all it is, it's raw nature.
Dude, we should go
with the rocky
foraging
shores.
over there,
Yeah,
dude.
we should go foraging over there.
That'd be pretty cool.
Too late for berry hunting, but foraging along the seashore and stuff like that.
Yeah, the berries,
good.
they're finished.
Although there might be some dried ones, like if they dried naturally on the vine, on the bush, there might still be some.
That's weird.
We'll just have to see.
Definitely.
Anywho,
We don't have any content. She's been coughing. She didn't want
Yeah.
to do a very long show tonight anyways.
so I'll definitely be back tomorrow. I'm gonna rest my voice and drink some more fluid. And
Thank you to the moderators.
he's
you
playing
guys.
Aha down at the other end. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
No clankers on this channel. Anyways,
Uh,
what you get is all real.
anyhow, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you again tomorrow.
Thank
I'm
you,
going to aim for
visitors,
8
and
p.m.
Thank you to my
Mountain Time,
moderators.
which I don't know where all you guys are from, so I'd like to start at 8
You
p.m.
guys-
Mountain Time tomorrow,
You can give a shout
which
out
is
where you're
7
from.
p.m. Pacific, and earlier and earlier as you go west.
Hey, you want to play us out of here
Or-
now?
What?
Play us a song. Don't get too close to the microphone
we're
this
ending.
time.
Yeah, there we go. We're gonna have a little bit of music
Not
to
too
round
close
it out.
this time. Let's go.
Like what?
Yeah, we have
I
Jay.
don't know.
First, Aha.
Fade to the one you were just playing, dude. So good night, everybody. We're gonna play a little music. Talk amongst yourselves. It'll be fine. Any topic. Yes. Hit that one button if you guys like that.
You can also put song requests in the comments, and we'll pass them on to Jay.
Boss. Just aren't we lucky? My music.
I was just thinking about how lucky I am to have these two guys. Oh, sweet hook. You'll play more tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody, for checking in tonight.
See you tomorrow.
Subscribe, like, and
Like, subscribe, share. Help us reach 10,000, 10K by New Year's Day. see if we can do it.